Hi, I want to tell you guys a story. Um, I had a building that I was renting back in about 8 years ago. I was renting a warehouse space and it had some office space in the front of it from this guy that's in the town next to where I live. And I was running a business out of it with my wife. And we were into this for a few years, and the Great Recession came along. I don't know if you remember that or not, but our business slowed way down to the point where I wasn't able to pay rent. So I had to go talk to the landlord about it, and I basically owed him some back rent, and then I couldn't afford to pay the upcoming rent, and I had a signed lease with him. I mean, there was a contract. He was completely in the right on this, and I was going to owe him a lot of money. I figured he'd probably take me to court or something. I don't know. He had the right to do that if he wanted to. So I went and spoke with him, and he looked at me and he just said, "What can you afford?" And so I sat there for a second and thought really quick in my mind, what can I afford? And I kind of had some numbers already worked out. So I totally lowballed this guy, but it was the truth. That's what I could afford. It was way lower than what the rent was that he was asking for. I just was honest with him. I said, "This is what I can afford." He said, "Okay, why don't we just erase the back debt that you owe me. We'll start over again with a new contract with that amount." I was really surprised, and so I agreed to that. And I got this place that I was in, like I said, a warehouse with office space, really nice spot, for probably less than half of what it was worth, really. So as I walked out of that place, I realized that right there was grace. Like I had never understood it before. I mean, I've heard people talk about grace, God's grace, and things like that. But God used that situation right there to really teach me this is what grace is. So I owed the guy a debt, and I couldn't pay it. And God's grace is like that. We completely deserve eternity in hell, all of us. Not one of us lives up to God's standards. Not one of us can live up to the law that He has set forth for us to live up to in order to get into heaven. But because of His love for us, God provided a sacrifice, another way for us to have a relationship with Him, to pay that debt that we owe. It was a perfect sacrifice, and it blows my mind, quite honestly. He did exactly what this man did for me, only on a much larger scale, obviously. We're talking about eternal life versus renting a little spot, not little, but a decent sized spot in a warehouse. So this grace that God offers us is because of the sacrifice that He put in place so that we could have a relationship with Him and live with Him for eternity in heaven if we choose to partake of this sacrifice. It's a free gift from Him that not one of us can live up to or earn. Ephesians 2:8 says that it's a free gift, so that no man can boast. There's nothing you can do to earn it. The free gift is Jesus Christ. He was willing to hang on a tree and die in our place so that our debt to God would be paid for the sin and the corruption in our lives. So I just wanted to share that story with you. It was a day that God really used the situation I was in to speak to me, and I hope that maybe it speaks to some of you too. Thanks for listening, and have a good day. Bye.